Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at a location that, well, for about 2 decades, it felt like the absolute center of Western military power in Asia. I'm talking about Bagram Airbase.
Bagram, yeah. Huge place. You remember U.S. presidents used to fly in there, fighter jets constantly overhead.
Yeah.
Then, well, came the withdrawal, and suddenly it was this ghost town.
Mm-hmm.
The images were pretty stark, left a lot of people stunned.
Totally stunned. But here's where our source material really kicks things up a notch. Our mission, our deep dive today, is to unpack these reports we've been seeing. Reports claiming India has kind of taken strategic control of Bagram.
Mm-hmm.
And not just that, but the speed. The sources say the actual deployment took something like 48 hours, which is wild.
Full speed, yeah.
So we need to figure out what the signals, about the power balance shifting in Asia, maybe moving beyond that historical Western dominance we've always known.
And the visual that really hammers this home, according to these sources, it's the Indian flag, the Tiranga, apparently flying over Bagram's main runway now.
Right where U.S. jets used to be.
Exactly. It's a powerful image. It basically screams, things have changed here.
Okay, let's jump straight into that aspect. The sheer speed and, frankly, audacity of this reported move.
Mm-hmm.
The sources you shared mentioned weeks of whispers, speculation maybe, that the Taliban might hand Bagram to India.
Right, there was talk.
But the actual move, India going from getting a signal to full deployment, 48 hours, that just seems almost logistically impossible for such a high-stakes operation.
It's exceptionally fast. And what makes it even more fascinating is the contrast with how the U.S. left. They didn't just pack up and go.
No.
No, the reports suggest more of a scorched earth exit. They apparently tried to make sure Bagram couldn't be easily used again by anyone.
What do you mean, like specifically?
Well, the sources detail things like the main runways being deliberately damaged, maybe even destroyed. And critical infrastructure, particularly the air traffic control systems, the ATC, were apparently, and I quote, blown up.
Blown up. Wow. Okay, so destroying the ATC, for our listeners, that's not just like breaking some windows. That cripples the whole place, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. No ATC, no large-scale air operations, military or civilian. It grounds the base, effectively. The thinking seems to have been, we're making Bagram a historical footnote. Afghanistan won't be reactivating this for any other major power.
They thought they were closing the book on Bagram.
Permanently, it seems. But India, according to these reports, saw an opportunity, not an ending.
Like a challenge, almost.
Precisely. And India stepping in, demanding not just presence, but full control, that sends a very different message across Asia. It's about a shift in the balance.
And this came with some pretty strong words for the Taliban, too, didn't it, based on the analysis?
It did, yeah. The sources suggest India laid down a clear line, something like, accept this partnership officially, recognize it, or India reserves the right to act under its own security policy. Its own security policy. What does that even imply?
Well, the reports mention India warning it might have to step into direct action mode. That's not exactly diplomatic hedging, is it? It sounds like a power confident in its ability to secure its interests, even in a complex place like Afghanistan. Okay, hold on. That sounds incredibly risky. Stepping into a vacuum the U.S. just fled from, threatening direct action. What do the sources say about managing that risk? The security needed must be immense.
That's a really crucial question, and it leads us right into the next part, the technical side of things. The risk is seemingly managed through both that firm diplomatic stance and an immediate demonstration of technical capability. This brings us to what the sources frame as an engineering and diplomatic triumph.
Because fixing a base that was deliberately broken, that's a huge task.
It's monumental. We're talking about reviving a multi-billion-dollar facility that was, according to reports, intentionally disabled. Doing that quickly isn't just good logistics. It's presented as this, incredible feat of engineering and military capacity.
So it's Indian engineers and Air Force tech teams working around the clock. What exactly are they fixing?
Yeah, day and night, based on these accounts, they're reportedly rebuilding communication systems almost from the ground up, establishing entirely new radar and satellite links because the old U.S. ones were deactivated or destroyed.
So completely new eyes and ears for the base.
Exactly. And the reports claim Indian officials are already in the control tower, managing the airspace, and that surveillance flights, likely with fighter jets, have already started operating out of Bagram again.
The fact that a runway described as demolished is operational again, along with the control systems, that's seriously impressive if accurate.
It is. And it sets up this stark contrast, doesn't it? The U.S. spent billions, decades, then leaves it thinking it's unusable. India, through what's described as diplomacy, strategy, and engineering skill, reportedly brings it back online.
It really pushes back on that narrative of Afghanistan just being a puppet, as the sources say. It suggests they made a calculated choice for a partner they believed could deliver.
Precisely. A partner offering immediate stability and operational capability. It challenges that whole idea that only Western powers can guarantee security in that region.
Okay, so if India has successfully pulled this off, reactivating Bagram so quickly, the ripple effects must be huge. Let's talk about the geopolitical fallout. Where do we start? Pakistan, I assume.
Yeah, that's the most immediate reaction highlighted. The sources use words like commotion, even frenzy, within defense circles in Islamabad.
Frenzy. Why such a strong reaction?
It's about this concept called strategic depth. For listeners maybe not familiar, Pakistan has long seen Afghanistan as crucial buffer space on its western border. A friendly or controlled Afghanistan gives them room to maneuver strategically.
Ah, okay. So India setting up a major strategic base right there basically eliminates that buffer.
That's the fear, exactly. Suddenly, from Pakistan's perspective, they might feel squeezed, potentially facing significant Indian influence or presence on both their eastern and western borders.
That would definitely cause some alarm bells to ring in Islamabad. And beyond Pakistan, what about Washington or Beijing?
Well, the reports mention a definite stir there, too. It's being seen potentially as a fundamental reshaping of the geopolitical map in Asia, a move away from that Western-led order. U.S. strategic circles are apparently taking this very seriously, trying to figure out the long-term implications.
And what about the Taliban's thinking in all this? Why India? Why now? What was their calculation, according to the analysis?
It seems to boil down to pragmatism, really.
Hmm.
The sources suggest the Taliban leadership recognized they needed a stable, reliable partner for the long haul. Someone focused on stability, economic help, maybe helping Afghanistan regain some global standing.
Not just another power using their country as a battlefield, as the sources put it.
Exactly. India, with its history of aid projects and its sort of non-interventionist reputation in that specific way, probably looked like a better bet for actual rebuilding and stability.
So this positions India as more than just a regional power looking out for itself. It suggests they're stepping up as a potential guarantor of stability, maybe even offering a different model for partnership in the region.
Yeah, and that partnership aspect is key. Because to really grasp the significance here, we need to look beyond just the military base. It connects to something much bigger economically. This takes us to the deeper partnership, thorium and trust.
Right, this isn't just about controlling airspace. There's more to it.
Much more. The foundation was already there, India has been providing humanitarian aid, food, medicine, helping with schools, hospitals, especially during recent crises.
Okay, so there's a history of cooperation. But you mentioned something specific, a mineral.
Yes. Thorium. This is where, as the sources suggest, it gets really interesting. Afghanistan apparently has significant reserves of thorium.
Thorium. Okay, remind us why that's important.
Well, thorium is seen as potentially crucial for future energy. It can be used in next-generation nuclear reactors, supposedly safer and cleaner than current tech. Plus, it has uses in other high-tech sectors. It's not just valuable, it's strategically vital for countries planning their energy future. Think of it like strategic gold for the 21st century.
Wow. And let me guess, the reports say India has secured rights related to this thorium.
That's the core claim. Under this new, apparently deepening partnership, India has reportedly secured rights for the exploration and, crucially, the mining of Afghanistan's thorium reserves.
That is huge. That's not just an economic deal. That's a massive strategic win for India's long-term energy security.
Absolutely. And importantly, the sources emphasize this isn't presented as just a resource grab. Afghanistan is set to receive a significant share of the profits, so it's framed as a sign of deep mutual